last week the message was it's personal. This week you're also facing a rival, so is the message it's also personal, or is it more little brother week?
Well, God hasn't given me the message yet. When He give it, I promise you guys will be first to know.
Coach,
how you doing?
Costello, Associated Press.
Pleasure.
I want to ask you, you were very specific in bringing your coaches here that you knew their mindset. But when you also brought them here, you have let them be themselves, given them their autonomy.
Right.
How important is that for the success of this program, but also in their interactions with the players and showing up as well as it has in the first 2 games?
Well, when we really looked to them to hire them, we wanted to understand their characteristics, the way they got along with people, the way they connected with the youth and parents as well, the recruiting ability. There's so many components based on hiring a coach nowadays, but all the guys that we have on this staff come from a relationship, and they're great parents. And that's something that matters to me, because it's hard for me to give you the opportunity to lead someone's child when you're not even leading yours.
Boom! I played football for a long time, I coached for several years, and I've never heard any coach say that. I definitely haven't heard any black coaches say that. I went to a Catholic school. I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I can't tell you I've ever heard a coach say he's waiting on a message from God. Never heard it. And I can tell you I've never heard a criteria for hiring an assistant coach being a successful parent. That's crazy talk, especially in today's day and age. If I ended this video right now, that would be enough of a truth to set Deion Sanders apart from other coaches. But there's much more truth to be told about Deion Sanders. And what I find odd is that he does a press conference, he makes those kind of statements, and nobody picks up on it. It's like they don't want to broadcast that kind of messaging. But I have to tell you, I'm not alone. It's refreshing and magnetic at the same time. And that energy is being felt by fans, players, and certainly by other school administrators. Listen to what Ryan Clark of ESPN says right here.
Just that Deion does it his way. It's not just that it's different. It's that for so long, if we wanted that job, we had to be like them. Being uniquely and authentically African American, they don't want that. And it's not that they don't want it because they believe it's bad. They just don't know enough about it. You're not gonna tell us what you're gonna do and then do it. That's not what coaches do, but it's what Prime does. He ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. You're actually hiring Prime, right? That's not how it normally works. Like some dude who worked up from a GA and a quality control guy, he can't go act like Prime and coach, right? Because they're gonna be ready to get him out of there.
You see, I kind of disagree, because I feel the stronger catalyst right now is about control and power. There are only 3 black head coaches in the top 25 poll. Obviously Deion Sanders, you've got Franklin at Penn State, and Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. There is no way in hell that Penn State and Notre Dame are going to give Freeman or Franklin the kind of power that Deion Sanders is asserting at Colorado. And someone like Coach Prime grabbing control must scare the hell out of other coaches and administrators. Listen to what Stephen A. Smith says right here.
Ryan Clark's absolutely right, except for one thing in my estimation, when he said that they don't understand. Folks who don't understand, that's not the problem with folks like Deion Sanders and other African Americans who deserve these opportunities, is that they don't want to understand, because they're comfortable communicating with the people that are like-minded, who look like them, who share their authenticity, their ethnicity, their culture, etc., etc. We know what time it is.
Stephen A. Smith is absolutely right. There is an aura of uncomfortability when you hear people talk about Deion Sanders. Even Lee Corso went on game day and said, I'm not a big fan of what Deion says. The old-time coaching, the old-time administrators aren't comfortable with what they're seeing. And right now it seems that Deion Sanders has both of those things at Colorado. He has the power to do what he needs to do, and they're rolling out the red carpet with resources and money to allow him to do what he needs to do.
And prime time is opening doors, and it's making people very, very uncomfortable. He's making a point, but in reality, what it really comes down to is that it's not a lack of understanding. It's an unwillingness to understand because you don't want to ingratiate yourself with people you don't want a part of your situation to begin with.
And you have to believe that some big schools with even more money will be calling real soon. It's only a matter of time. Some school is going to come calling, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, definitely by the year afterward, because in addition to relinquishing power, the one thing that these administrators and alumni want more is winning. So rest assured, somebody will come calling to Deion Sanders to try to get him out of Colorado. I made a video over a year ago before he came to Colorado while he was still at Jackson State. It was right after the Travis Hunter transfer. And I said Deion is going to challenge schools across the country, including those in the SEC and Nick Saban. Let's be real. In this era of NIL and the transfer portal, is there a better suited coach than Deion Sanders? Of course not. Anyone Deion recruits and that he wants them to come with him, they will follow. It reminds me of that scene in Malcolm X.
That's too much power for one man to have.
You see, the truth is a lot of schools aren't going to be uncomfortable hiring a black coach. What makes them uncomfortable is the type of power that Deion Sanders wields. You see, he's reaching these kids on a completely different level. He's reaching right into their homes, talking directly to their parents, and like I said, it's refreshing and magnetic.
But let me tell you what Prime is doing. Nobody's going to out-recruit Prime. And his football knowledge is not to be denied. And so if he can recruit, and he's talking about young men, because that's the sound that I really wanted y'all to hear when he brought up, when he was talking on the pivot, and he talked about why, what he's doing when he's coaching these young kids and what he's trying to accomplish. That's what it's really all about with primetime. And that's why any parent is going to be comfortable with sending their child there. Prime is going to win.
And the thing is, your money, depending on what school you're at, your money isn't going to control him. Deion Sanders, unlike most coaches, is already rich. He's worth about $45 million. Only Nick Saban is probably worth more. Nick Saban's, I think he's worth about $70 million. But his time here is getting shorter. And you're not going to woo him with prestige because Deion's already in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest cornerback that ever played football. So he's got the cred. There's never been a coach who has so much power. Power with players, power with parents, power of the media. It's absolutely scary to a lot of coaches and administrators. And it's obvious that no coach in the country is going to have the type of power that Deion Sanders has, especially in this NIL transfer portal age. The NIL and the transfer portal is a monster that the NCAA set loose across college football. What's unfortunate for the NCAA is that Deion Sanders right now controls that monster. He's got it on a leash sitting right at his feet. And there's no coach out there, none, not a single coach in the NCAA that's going to be able to take that leash and own the NIL and transfer portal market the way Deion Sanders can. And that goes for Nick Saban and Kirby Smart as well.
Enjoy him while you can, Colorado. Because let me tell you something right now. If somebody was smart, particularly in the SEC, when you're going up against Nick Saban, when you're going up against Kirby Smart, you got to recruit. And that's what the hell Prime can do. Imagine if he becomes a part of one of those big-time programs. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
I think Coach Prime is going to have to come up with a completely different slogan. He's not going to be able to say, "We coming" anymore. He's here, he's reaching into homes, he's building young men, and he's going to own the NIL and transfer portal, and there's not a coach anywhere that can stop him. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.
There's so many components based on hiring a coach nowadays, but all the guys that we have on the staff come from a relationship, and they're great parents. And that's something that matters to me, because it's hard for me to give you the opportunity to lead someone's child when you're not even leading yours.